Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is TechnicallyTee here, and today I'm bringing you another iPhone 10 case review video. Now today we're going to get into the Elago case collection for the iPhone 10. And before I get started, I want to give a huge shout out over to those guys at Elago for sending me these cases to review. So a huge thank you to you guys. So as you see, we do have 4 cases here. We have the Empire case. We do have the Slim Fit 2. We have the Cushion series, and we also have their thin fit, basically very thin, minimalistic case right there. So let's go ahead and start off with the first, which is the Slim Fit 2. Now, as you see, guys, this is a hard plastic case there. Front is completely, basically wide open, snap-on case, as you can see, with that Elago branding there on the bottom. So let's go ahead and snap the iPhone 10 in here and see how it is. Now, this case, I can already tell for my people who don't like to run cases, but they want a little bit of scratch protection on the back of their device, and that's exactly what this case is actually giving you. So on the right side, we do have that open power button there. No issues whatsoever. Your bottom is wide open, so there is no cutouts. Same thing with the volume up and down and your mute toggle switch. Don't really have to do a press test because you're actually pressing the actual buttons themselves. So like I said, very thin case. Basically feels like no cases on the phone at all. Next, let's take a look at the lay on the tail protection, guys. And this is exactly what it says, Slim Fit 2. So it doesn't have any lay on the tail protection, guys. This case is not rated for any type of drop protection. This case is basically for your scratch resistant, a couple bumps and bings here and there. But if you drop this case, you never know what's going to happen. So no lay on the table when dealing with this case here. Next, how does it actually fit on the phone? As you can see, it's a snap style case. But for a little bit, it kind of snaps out a little bit too easy for me. I wish the snap was a little bit more pronounced. I feel like the case might pop out of the case if you were to drop it. The phone might pop out of the case if you were to drop it. But it snaps on. And I feel like once it's on, if you don't really play with it or anything, it doesn't have any business coming off. But I wish it was a little more of a certifying snap. A satisfying snap when you actually clicked it in, but it's not actually horrible and it doesn't feel like it actually come out when regularly using it. But I feel like if you were to drop this case, then you might get an issue there. But nonetheless, it's not bad at all. Next, how does it actually feel in your hands? And like I said, it basically feels like you're holding a naked iPhone 10. Very thin, minimalistic case. It is straight clear on the back, so you already know you're going to deal with those fingerprints. As you can see, fingerprints and smudges was actually drive me absolutely crazy. But if you're a clear case lover, and that usually will not bother you. Last test, does it work with wireless charging? And yes, it does work with wireless charging. So guys, this is the Elago Slim Fit 2 for the iPhone 10. Let's put that to the side and let's move over to the Empire series. Now, I've already taken these cases out of the packaging just to save a little bit of time. As you can see here, all the packaging is right here. So I'll take it out of the casing just so we can save a little bit of time. So here is the Empire series. Now, I think this case is definitely for my ladies out there, especially this color combination with the rose gold and the actual pink on the back. I think that's a real dope color, especially if they made a rose gold iPhone 10. But they don't, so you're going to either have to slap your space gray one in there or your white iPhone 10. But let's take a look at this case. As you can see, this is a hard type case. The top, excuse me, the bottom does pop off and the phone will actually slide in there and then you can snap the back piece back on. As you see, the right button, the power button is a cutout, basically a rose gold metal-ish button there. And the same thing with the metal buttons on the volume up, volume down. You got that cutout for your mute toggle switch. So let's go ahead and slide this iPhone 10 in here, see how it actually fits. Now, one thing that I can tell you that I do not like about the cases already is I wish it had some type of felt on the back of this case. So when you slide your iPhone 10 in, it needs felt all around because plastic on these stainless steel sides, I think you're asking for a scratch to happen. But let's go ahead and see how it actually does. I feel like I'm doing it wrong there because I feel like I'm scratching the device all up. Let's see if we can look at some directions real quick because it feels like I was just scratching the crap out of it. So as you can see here, it says remove the case, and so you might have to snap it in actually. So, okay, so the top comes off too, along as with the bottom. So I kind of screwed that installation guys up. Be quiet, Siri. Kind of screwed that installation guys up. So let's see if I can snap this back on kind of right. I'm kind of having a hard time with this case here. Let me pull off camera for a second. See if I can get with it. Okay, finally. After a little bit of technical difficulties, we do have the Elago Empire series on for the iPhone 10. So here it is, guys. You can take a look around the case. Very nice case. Very nice case. Very thin case. Doesn't feel like much of a case is up there as well. Like I said, Elago mostly specializes in these thin style cases. So this is what you get. So on that right side, you do get your power button there. Nice and tactile. No issues at all. Flip it over on the bottom. You get that rose gold bottom plate. Cutouts are spot on. Unlocking the device, you do get your volume up, volume down, no issues there at all. Flip it over in the back, your camera is recessed in there. It feels like it's flush, but it's actually recessed. So when you lay it on its back, you shouldn't have any issues with scratching up the camera lens. Next, does it have a lay on the table protection? Now, as you can see, the case does not offer that much lay on the table protection. Actually, if I have to say, it doesn't offer any lay on the table protection. Once again, Elago specializes in thin cases, not so much heavy duty cases. So not much lay on the table protection when you're talking about this case here. Next, how does it actually fit on the phone, guys? And you saw me kind of struggling getting the case in, but once it's in, the case feels very solid. It's not doing any type of creaking, anything whatsoever. When on the case, it actually feels very solid. These pieces on the bottom feels like they're not going to come off easy. Now, I remember a case back in the day that I've done. I can't remember what company it was for. I think it may have been Case RG. They made a case that was similar to this, but these bottom pieces will come off very easy. These don't feel like they'll come off. I feel like you have to give it a strong tug to get them off, but they're not going to come off. But feels A1 with the Empire case for the iPhone 10. Next, how does it feel in your hand? And like I said, it fits very thin on your hand. This material, which is this matte hard plastic, is actually very grippy. While it's in my hand, it does not feel like it's going to slip out. If it does slip out, I feel like the case will take a good fall and a good amount of damage because it's like a very pretty style case. And you know, once these cases fall, they would tend to get scraped up real quick, but that's not the case. That's the case's job. You know, it's not to look really pretty, it's to protect your phone. But it does feel very good in the hands. Doesn't add much bulk at all, and it makes the phone looks very good. And I think it'd probably look even that much better if you had a silver iPhone 10. Popping it on the wireless charger, as you can see, the wireless charging works as well. So that is the Empire case. And let me struggle getting it back off. You can put it off camera. This is the Empire case. I'm taking screenshots, doing all types of stuff. But, oh man, I'm struggling over here with this case. Oh man. Probably over here breaking the case and doing all types of things, but that is the Empire style case. And make sure I didn't scratch my iPhone doing that. But that is the Empire case for the iPhone 10 from Elago. Next, let's look at the cushion series. Now, as you can see, this is a very hard TPU, very shiny material on the back. You have that Elago branding there. The back feels very cushiony, like it actually feels like there's a plate or something in here. And that's why it's called the cushion series. This may actually help with a little more when you're dealing with actual drop protection. But let's go ahead and pop it on the phone, see how it actually does. And his phones feel very good. It's actually a different style case. It's cushion, but it feels like it's reinforced. Almost feels like gives it that iPhone 3GS vibe. As you can see, it kind of gives you a hump and like a rounded back there. So on that right, you do have your, well, we did have a power button. Did I cut the phone off? Okay, I actually either cut the phone off or it restarted, but whatever it is, volume button, nice and tactile. Going to the bottom, your cutouts for your lightning adapter and your speakers are spot on. Volume up, volume down, nice and tactile there, no issues whatsoever. Flipping it over on the back, you have your cutout for your camera and your flash, and it also is protected. So if you were to lay it down, you will be good in that category there. Next, lay on the table protection. As you can see, once again, this case does not offer that much lay on the table protection. If it does, it's barely a little hump, not much at all. So please be aware, if you were to drop this on the face, you never know what you're going to get in terms of protection there. How does it fit on the actual phone? The actual case fits very tight on the phone. Doesn't really give that much. Feels very tight, very smooth. Top and bottom are very snug, so it does not give that much at all. So pretty excellent fit when it comes to the cushion series from Elago. Next, how does it feel in your hand? And the phone feels pretty good in your hand. Remains thin, but you can tell there is some type of cushion material on the back. When you're holding it, you can kind of feel that bulge on the back. It's not horrible, but you can feel it there and you can notice it that it is actually on the back. But as you can see, the back is also a very shiny material, so you probably have to deal with fingerprints and scratches. We don't know how this does over time, but just me handling it right quick right now, it's not actually showing that many fingerprints, so it might be a little bit of fingerprint resistant. Last but not least, does it work with wireless charging? And as you can see, even with that camera bulge, the back bulge, not too much of the camera bulge, but the back cushion, it still works with wireless charging. So this is the cushion series for the iPhone 10. So let's go ahead and pop this off. And let's take a look at the last case, which we basically have is their thin case, ultra thin case, which we've known for Elago to do with the iPhones, and with most of the cases they have, we've seen this very thin case before in the past. So on the right side, you have it cut out for your power button. Flipping it over, you have your cutout for your lightning adapter and dots for your speaker grills there. Flipping it on the left side, you have a cutout for your volume up, volume down, mute toggle switch, and your back is cut out as well. So let's go ahead and slap it on the iPhone, see how it actually fits. And like I said, this is for the super duper thin case lovers. There's people actually who love these cases, man. I would be so paranoid to run this case, but some people do not like to run cases, and these thin cases is all they actually need. So let's take a look around. On that right side, those power buttons, if you know these very thin cases, it kind of flushes out the power button, but you can still get to it pretty good, so no issues there. Flipping over on the bottom, the cutouts do seem like the dots are actually spot on. The laser cut is actually very good. Doing the unlock real fast, you have the volume up, volume down. Like I said, buttons are very flush, as you can't even see them in the case, but they're there. Mute toggle switch feels very natural. Doesn't feel like there's a case on it at all. Flipping it over on the back, you have that cutout for your mute toggle, for your camera and your flash. And even though that it's a very thin case, guys, you can see that it does have a lip. So that actually works very good. For the case to be so thin, it actually has a lip on it to protect that camera. So very good point there. Next, lay on the table protection. Now you already know, I don't even have to give you a sample of lay on the table protection, because you know, guys, this case has zero lay on the table protection. This case is mostly made for scratches and things like that. So no lay on the table protection here. Next, how does it actually fit on the phone? And these cases are very tight usually on these phones. Once they're up there, the case is not going to come off. And after a while, you can't even tell there's an actual case up there. So the fit is very good. Once it's on, it is not coming off. And for you to get this case off, you're going to have to intentionally get it off yourself. So case is A1 when it comes to the fit. Next, how does it feel in your hand? Once again, it feels like you're not running a case at all. Super duper thin. Just gives you a little bit of that scratch protection. And if you don't like running any case at all, this will be perfect for you, because you can protect your phone, your camera lens a little bit if you aren't a case lover. So it actually feels very thin. Doesn't feel like you have a case on it as well. And as you know, it also works. Let's turn this screen off so you can get that animation. It does work with wireless charging as soon as I get the placement together. Does work with wireless charging on the super thin case. So guys, this is basically, which I think I'm gonna call it, the ultra thin case. Here you have that cushion series. Here you have the Slim Fit 2. And here you have it. I'm gonna bring the sides in here. You have the Elago Empire series. Now I will leave pricing for all of these cases down in the description below, as long as there are links to them as well. You already know the deal, guys. If you like this video, give it a huge thumbs up, like, subscribe, comment below if you have any questions about these cases, and I will see you next time, guys. Later.